It's a mass focus of energy on a topic, subject, or event. And when the mass energy is focused, you can use current events, historical events, comparative analysis to determine the most likely outcome of the energy. So I'm gonna look a little bit deeper into that alignment because I think it means something. I still got to count the days from the 5th to the 21st of January, right? And then I got to look at what the sun, moon, and stars is doing in the interim. What's the major stellar events happen in that time frame? And then the esoteric meaning of the event, it'll give you a good proximity of what to expect, to look to see with the alignment, because it'll be all leading to a story coming to a conclusion. So I'm gonna look more into it, but I just wanted to make mention of that because it caught my attention real good.
Man, to me, they can't do nothing else to scare us. They didn't run out of shit to scare us with. They didn't use everything in their handbook to scare the hell out of us. They don't got nothing else. They just did everything, huh?
I was posted on that yesterday on my Facebook page. I was laughing at their ass, and I was like, they was government talking about, well, none of this stuff didn't work. What we gonna do about these aliens now? Build a wall? They always trying to stop somebody. Let me see you build a wall to the sky, motherfucker.
Man, them motherfuckers dig under that shit or climb over it. Them motherfuckers build an airplane and fly over it, man. Our people, you can't stop us. You can't. We don't die. We multiply. That's what Tahuti told them in Genesis, man. We don't die. We multiply. You know what I'm saying? So it's like this, man. Hey, we'll take questions. We got about 30 minutes. If you want to show Brother Rod Hayes some love for the people that's asking, we drop that Cash App in the links. Hey, if you want to, we'll take some questions from the crowd, man. Y'all got any questions for Chief, man? Drop them in the chat. We're taking over the game right now. Big Mama's Babies is back. And when we pull up in the back. Right? You know what I'm saying? So, hey, shout out all the empresses on the land. Shout out all the chiefs. Shout out that boy Chief Honey Bear or Sugar Bear. That boy Dame Calloway and his wife and family. Shout out Chief Warhorse. Shout out Chief Ball Eagle, man. Shout out Chief Jaguar in the house. Drop your comment, drop your questions in the chat for the chief, man. See what we got. It says, where is the Illuminati right now? Somebody asked, where is the Illuminati right now?
Dead. That false narrative should be dead by now.
Go ahead. Let me see. I'm gonna get them lined up right here so I can. It is.
I'm not getting on nobody's ship.
They're going back to Africa, man. They still on that. They're going back to Africa with Umar Johnson. Going back to Africa with Umar.
I don't have no problem with that. I ain't mad at Umar for liking Africa. I love Africans too. I just know them from here.
Me too, man. Me too. We fight for all God's people, all Big Mama's children. So Big Mama's God, nigga. After the air, I'm telling you, man. Big Mama's God. Big Mama got it. I'm trying to get to these some questions coming up. It says, hey Rod, Madam Vasquez. Yeah, Vasquez, that's that lady Helen that was over the
Madam Blavatsky.
Yeah, Blavatsky, that's how you say her name. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a Theosophic Society. She left some heavy keys in her writings.
Oh, this shit's still on. Hold on. Go ahead. Let me see.
I'm with the mushrooms. I just tell people that if they ain't never did them before, make sure you're around somebody with experience.
Damn, this shit's still on.
The original Earthborn was the little people, and the ones made in the laboratory was altered. And the remedy was for them to get some blood from the little people by genetic transfer.
Look like how they all spell on top of them. Man, here's this. My first time hearing about this.
That's he talking about they got a single red light in the center of the hood.
Oh, okay.
And it looked like a fez. But I just think that's I don't think that's necessarily a direct correlation, though. You can make that connection though. But the state troopers and the police, they gonna all have to go. Only thing gonna be here is sheriffs and marshals. Wherever there's a sacred mound, you're gonna have a ship there. There's gonna be a ship in the sky just above it. Those are gonna be contact sites. That's why they sacred mountains.
Hey, to cool the Muskogee and Seminole and Chata is that's their land. Hey, what you think right there, Rod? Shit's how do you know when you're in tune with your frequency when meditation?
It's a feeling. It's an unmistakable feeling. You just automatically know you in the right frequency for who you are. But you just automatically feel it, and you don't know.
Black box in Israel. I gotta look that up. The black box in Israel.
All of those boxes are time capsules with stuff in them.
Okay.
I don't have no predictions. I don't see the future. I just read what's transpiring in real time. I can make projections, but I can't make predictions. Based on this event happening and this event happening, we should see something along these lines. One thing I know is that the banks are about to collapse because they just fenced off the Federal Reserve in DC. So that means that we about to have an economic transfer of financial power.
Domino effect, pretty much.
Yeah. And then you got to remember, when we took everything back, the FDIC is losing massive amounts of money trying to cover what they insured to keep the system artificially afloat.
Yeah.
Once the FDIC declare bankruptcy or insolvency so they can stop losing money like they got a hole in their pocket, then it's going to impact the International Monetary Fund and the World Bank, right? Which is also going to be affected when the IRS is shut down because the taxing agency is a fraud. It's not part of our system, not part of our government. It's part of a foreign agency financial institution.
And it's voluntarily. They voluntarily, but they don't tell us that. They kind of like scare us up and use a fear tactic to get us to volunteer to do it. And they've been doing it since the civil.
That voids the contract under duress.
Yep, right, exactly, Rod. Could you go in on that a little bit about how they put us under that using threat coercion to get us into these contracts?
Right. So the Crown of England got to collect the taxes because they have to return payment back to the bankers that lent them the money for the settlements. This is how long this has been going on. In order for them to remember the Boston Tea Party, right? They said that the Boston Tea Party was because of excessive taxation on the tea, right? But if you read the story, it's going to tell you that it was some people dressed up like natives. But that wasn't them. Right? That means it was somebody that wasn't us, that looked like us, that was really behind the Boston Tea Party.
Right. Like it passed as us. Go ahead.
Right. And now somebody at some point became aware because they wrote about the masquerade as the tribe to attack the Boston Harbor of somebody who wasn't us, who wasn't the tribe.
They couldn't have been white folks. They couldn't have been white folks then. It had to be
right. Now it's clicking for you. Okay, now the rally cry was no taxation without representation. We was barred from representation in the development of the tax code by law. Therefore, we was never represented. Therefore, we supposed to be exempt from taxation anyway. But they have to deceive us because we non-treaty tribes. They have to trick us into contracts to justify them being here. The contracts they trick us in is work contracts called applications for jobs, where it requires your employer ID number called a social security number that tell you that the person that is under this number is socially secured by the Federal Reserve in Securities and Exchange, on the Securities and Exchange International Trade Market. Anything that they do is to be reserved for my collectors by having them fill out these forms, adhesion contracts. To remember, they want you to put your own self in slavery on their behalf. So once you fill out your job application with your social security number, they alert the Social Security Administration that you are willing to surrender to the IRS because you filled out your W-40 or your W-2s and your W-4 forms and your 1099 OIDs and all this. You still working with their system, right? Even if you do a 1099, they can still make you pay more taxes than you owe by just disagreeing with your assessment, right? Remember, every time you file for your taxes, you're not requesting a refund on what you pay. You are giving an assessment of what they owe you.
Right. And they really supposed to pay you 10 times more than what you paid them because that they make 10 times on what you pay them.
The goal is for you to self-assess and claim that you owe them a certain amount and that you paid more than you owe. That's your refund. The trick is they ain't got nothing to do with your labor.
That's right. That's law. I heard that's a law.
They don't have nothing to do with your labor. So we being extorted by a banking mafia. They're using extortion as a means to compel us to pay street tax. Okay. Yeah, we went over that already. Catch it from the beginning and you'll see that part when we discussed it, because it ain't no big deal because they ain't got no juice. I already answered that other when you was doing something.
No, that's a different one. Let's see what we got here. Somebody said all the orbs in the sky controlled by fallen angels.
Look, ain't no such thing as a fallen angel. That's an oxymoron. That's like calling somebody an African American. But angels don't fall. They came down here. They came down here for a specific purpose.
That's right. To get some, you know what I'm saying, moose shoe. They came down for moose shoe. I'm telling you, man, go read it again. Go read that, man. Go read it. They came down for Moose. Let us take Mushu from amongst the. Come on, man. They can't fool us no more. We got it down. They came for some Mushu. Man, wouldn't you? After
Hey,
10,000 years?
what it say in the Bible? They came and took all that they saw.
Yeah.
They ain't asked nobody permission. They just taking it out.
Yeah, they some rapists, man. That's what they was, man.
Remember, I told you it was the great rape campaign on the divine feminine.
I'm trying to tell you.
The goal was to defile the priestesses so that they have no spiritual connection to the Great Mother. So when the Great Mother returned, they can't recognize her energetically. And then based on the narrative that the system gave them, they'll reject her outright because they don't know who they is. That's good. It was some good strategic thinking that they was doing. It was real brilliant. It was strategically brilliant from a military standpoint. The only problem is that when they won, they didn't know how to close the game up.
Right.
So now the guilty ones got to call on the same way as the same person to close it out as the innocent.
Yeah, hey, yeah, that's right, feminine. You want me to make it plain for you? They came down and took Coochie. Did that get it clear for you? I said Mushu to be nice, hey, but they came down and took Coochie. Man, that's what it was about. Yeah, Coochie will make a man go against God, according to the Bible. They said, man, we don't take we're gonna make an oath amongst all of us that we're gonna take an even punishment for this. We're gonna take even punishment for this when we go down and take this Coochie, man.
At least they was accountable to accept responsibility for their wrongdoing. So when we do them how they did us, they won't think we doing them wrong.
Right. There you go. How about that? Let's see what we got.
It is written.
I need to get some more water. There you go, right there, right?
Your mother could be your tribe's leader if she your big mama. That means that if your mother is the big mama on the land, when we start going around with the elders having leadership summits, you should attend. You should ask her permission to attend on her behalf so you can be brought to speed on responsibilities and leadership.
Hey, cool karma. I already told you it was the Chata, Muskogee, and some of the Seminole in that area.
Look, it's a map. If you go to Google Elder and type in U.S. native map or tribal map, it maps out all of it. You got more than one of them, so you got a whole lot of maps where that name tribe. Some of the names I ain't never even heard before.
That's right. That's right.
Right. It's a lot of names that also have been lost to the history and the amnesia combined took away the original names of a lot of tribes.
And I got, if she can go to my playlist called Native American Chief School. I already broke. You can find out what tribe you're from, what land, and all that. I got like the 6. It's 1 through 6 called Tracing Your Ancestry or History. That we already did in the Native American Chief playlist. You can check that. It'll give you. It's got all the maps that Rod talking about in those videos. Yeah. It says what's the best way to prepare for the banking crashing?
To practice not panicking. When the new banks come on, when the new banking system come online, everybody who had an account in the old system has to be compensated. So I wasn't even worried about it. And then you get what's called a suffrage penalty added on to it. That's what's going to break the FDIC. Paying back all of those people for being defrauded out of their money. The value of the currency gonna change too.
See, this is the thing. It ain't the banks. It's the Federal Reserve Act that really took and changed and really muscled everything. Because Big Mama had banks on land before that. Big Mama had banks.
Remember, they forced all our banks to close so that it would only be one system of banking under the Federal Reserve. All modern banks in America is tied to the Federal Reserve in order to be insured through the FDIC.
Those videos are in if you go to the my page, go to the playlist, and then go to Native American Chief School. They should be like the third tape down. It's 1 through 6. You watch 1 through 6 called Tracing Your Ancestral History. And we got the last names, all that Dr. York was already working on in the newspapers, but we went on, finished it, and did all the rest of the research. Shout out Dame Calloway, because we used one of his books too, another book that he got called Tracing Your Ancestral History, in that to do those tapes, right? To do those tapes. So check that out. Somebody had just asked a question right here. I forgot what it was saying. It said, it says, where is it? What is the spiritual significance of women that don't conceive kids or can't? It's because they are bad people. Let's think about that, Rod.
There's a lot of women. I think she meant white women.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of women from various cultures that's going bearing to reduce the world's population by limiting the procreation and the transfer of systems. It's natural. The only ones that'll be fertile in a couple of years is going to be the ones that have what they call ancient DNA. Right? Because it's systematically culling of the humans by aging out the ones with the expired genetic codes and bringing in new ones that requires the original 12 daughters of Isis DNA in order to continue beyond this point. So if they was an old expired version of the genetic typing of the new genome that the women are in the process of coding, then they won't be able to reproduce. You need what they call the God gene.
A lot of people that thinking they white, really not really white, because that was a game, the black and white game, that they ran on us.
Right, because they wanted us to know we was playing chess. The chessboard is black and white. That's the Queen's land.
Go ahead.
The checkerboard is black and red. That's the domain of the Flying Kings. The Flying Kings is the navigators of the sky, Enlil's children.
Go ahead.
Right. So the Flying Kings left the checkerboard and landed on the chessboard and tried to conquer the queens. And too many pawns became queens and the whole board was secured. It's always good